Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, as the title of this video suggests, has the battle between Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield already been won? If you haven't tuned in before, I'm Michael and I do Pokemon card investing content. If you have tuned in before, I really appreciate it and welcome back. Anyway, let's just jump straight into today's content, which is Sword and Shield versus Scarlet and Violet. Now, we left on such a high from Sword and Shield, particularly from probably a set like Chilling Reign onwards. It gave us, battle styles of course, started alternate arts in the Sword and Shield world, but Chilling Reign just gave us some phenomenal artwork. So from that sort of onwards, we had, other than maybe a couple of sets like Pokemon Go, we had some really, really strong Pokemon card sets. In fact, arguably one of the best that the modern era has ever seen in Evolving Skies. And then we hopped onto Scarlet and Violet, and it felt like we went backwards a little bit. But you know what? If we compare the start of Scarlet and Violet with the start of Sword and Shield, you'll see that Scarlet and Violet's actually been a little bit stronger. And with sets coming out like Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, and in particular, Prismatic Evolutions around the corner, has the battle been won? Does it go to Scarlet and Violet? Before we explore this in a little bit more detail, just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is the Shiny app. This is an awesome app. I'll leave a link in the description to download it. It is a great app for collectors and investors alike. So you can download it, add in your whole collection, both singles and sealed, pricing updates daily from a bunch of legitimate sources, eBay sales, TCG Player, just to name a few. It will show you profit and losses across all your selected items inside there. There's a cool new feature. If you've got it, please update it. In the search function, you can now search via set, and it'll go from newer set to older sets. So of course, Surging Sparks will be sitting at the top. When you're inside a set, you can search from price low to high, so you can see, or high to low. You see the top hits inside a set. It's an awesome app. I use it myself. So go ahead and give it a download or an update if you've already got it. Anyway, on to today's video. So let's start at base set, right? So Sword and Shield base come out, and one of the metrics that we work off, well, one of the metrics that I like to work off is total set value. And I think this will give you an indication on how well a set is going to perform long term. I've talked about this. I've talked about an equation to do with top 10 hits inside a set and rarity of the box. And you could also use the same equation, total set value and rarity of the box, because realistically, total set value, like unless it's a set with Master Ball holos like Japanese 151, total set value predominantly comes from the top 10 hits inside the set. The rest are all just ancillary hits along the way. So if we work off, total set value, multiplied by how rare the box is, generally it'll give us a future price. There can be increases in prices on booster boxes, for argument's sake, that don't have many good hits inside them, like Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash, because they weren't printed as much, because there's some rarity attached to them. But ultimately, a strong set with super, super strong chase cards and a really high total set value will eventually overtake those sets in price as they get rarer and rarer, because those two will eventually become rare, like Evolving Skies. That is getting rarer and rarer. Like, you can't probably fathom how much of that has been opened in the chase for cards like Rayquaza and Umbreon, etc. But Sword and Shield base, total set value $316. In comparison, Scarlet and Violet base, which isn't a great deal better, $366. But we can probably give the win to Scarlet and Violet base there. Rebel Clash, and I'm not going to spend too much detail sort of exploring these sets. It's more the premise of, has the battle been won from Scarlet and Violet over Sword and Shield? Rebel Clash 377 against Paldea Evolved. It's an introduction to the new region. That's generally what the second set does. Paldea Evolved, $817. It's not even a conversation there. Paldea Evolved absolutely blows Rebel Clash out of the water. The Magikarp's an absolutely stunning card. It's funny how over the last few generations, we get this same trend when it comes to, sets and their release time, because now we get the Charizard set coming up next, which is Darkness Ablaze versus Obsidian Flames. Look, neither of these sets are super strong. I think Obsidian Flames is, or does perhaps have a little bit of potential. If it doesn't get reprinted, I think it could do something similar to like what a Rebel Clash has done, where total set value, Darkness Ablaze 176 versus 259 on Obsidian. So again, we probably need to give this to Obsidian, and there are a couple more hits, whereas Darkness Ablaze literally has one Charizard and that's it. But Obsidian could do what something like a Rebel Clash did if it doesn't cop a reprint. You know, it could quickly shoot up to 200 US a box before we know it, because, like I said, it doesn't get reprinted, then it starts its life as somewhat rare. Champion's Path, we go to a holiday set here. Champion's Path versus 151. And look, I don't think this is a conversation at all. Champion's Path is really held up by 2 Charizard cards, total set value $400 versus $1,120 on 151. And boy, has 151 shot up over the last 3 months. It was literally like 3 or 4 months ago. It was hovering around total set value $500. It's over doubled in the last 3 or 4 months to $1,120. Next set, Vivid Voltage versus Paradox Rift. Vivid Voltage was a nice set when it came out, and there was so much hype. This is really when, you know, stimulus checks were coming out. The Logan Paul hype was there. People were locked inside. They wanted to relive nostalgia. The list goes on and on and on. And Vivid Voltage was that set. It was bright. It was colourful. Pikachu was on the box. Pikachu was the main chase card. Amazing Rares had just been released inside the set, and it had lots and lots of hype and so much demand. And it got, well, let's just say, I think the Pokemon Company International got the printing wrong. It was overprinted. And look, I think it's still for sale on the Pokemon Center in the US, which is just crazy. Either way, Paradox Rift, $719 total set value. I think we can give the win there to Paradox Rift. So far we're sitting at 5-0. Shining Fates versus Paldean Fates. Not even a question. Paldean Fates blows it out of the water. The Bubble Mew is stunning. The Charizard is also really good looking. You've got, you know, Pikachu. Pikachu is a baby shiny, or however you like to call them. Not even a question. You know, $331 versus $981 of total set value. Crazy. We're now, what, 6-1? Where are we up to? Battle Styles versus Temporal Forces. Same thing. I'm going to have to give the win here to Temporal Forces. Total set value $720 versus Battle Styles at $497. Everyone loves the Sleeping Tyranitar. It was the first introduction to alternate arts during the Sword and Shield era. There's some great looking cards in there, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the Empoleon alternate art. I think that's a stunning Pokemon card. But again, we've got to give it to Temporal Forces. Now here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Chilling Reign versus Twilight Masquerade. You've got 2 really heavy hitters as the main chase card. You've got the beautiful Blaziken VMAX from Chilling Reign, and you've got the somewhat controversial, but in my opinion, beautiful Greninja from Twilight Masquerade. Now Twilight Masquerade's, I suppose, the flavour of the month at the moment. Total, well, a few months ago, total set value sitting at $987 versus total set value for Chilling at $1,263. I think as a complete Pokemon card set, to do with artwork and a few other things, Chilling Reign is a more complete and nice looking Pokemon card set. It's got a really, really strong depth of chase cards. However, it can be bang or bust. And, you know, we've seen countless videos of people opening multiple Chilling Reign booster boxes and getting, you know, absolutely next to nothing. Unless you pull one of the nice old arts, it feels like you've completely wasted your money. That's the great thing about a set like Twilight Masquerade. You know, you're going to get some seeded illustration rares inside there, and a gold, like, you know, hyper rare would be seeded and somewhat. Like, it feels like you're getting something for your money, even if you don't pull the Greninja or one of the waifu cards, the next top 2 hits inside the set. But I'm probably going to have to give this, and this is maybe a touch controversial, to Chilling Reign. The next one, I don't think we can put, this is how it came out in chronological order, Shrouded Fable versus Evolving Skies. I think we need to more swap these over, because the set after Evolving Skies was Celebration. So I think it's more fair to put 2 holiday sets against each other, which is Celebrations versus Shrouded Fable. I mean, you should give it to Celebrations because it's the 25th anniversary set, but total set value is $183. Shrouded Fables is $549. I'm not saying Shrouded Fables is a good Pokemon card set, but I'm saying they stuffed up on Celebrations. The logo was too big. It was too busy on the card. It shouldn't have been that size. Classic Collection was a phenomenal idea, but we hardly got any Pokemon cards inside a pack. They were really small packs. The main set was way too small. You were just pulling bulk Lugia after Lugia after Lugia after surfing Pikachu, and it was just like, this feels like it was rushed, and there wasn't enough thought put inside this set. The main set should have been bigger, and the Classic Collection, I think they did a good job with, but I also would have maybe picked a couple other cards inside there. And I would have seeded them harder. I would have made the pull rates harder for those cards because you are trying to pull one of the OG classic cards. I think ultimately they stuffed up there. It's really hard to give it to Shrouded Fable, but I don't know. I'm going to call that one 50-50. I know I've just given Celebrations a slam, but it was the 25th anniversary set. Now, if we flip those back around, like I said, the Shrouded Fable and with Stellar Crown, then we get Stellar Crown up against Evolving Skies. And look, that's not a conversation we need to have. Evolving Skies absolutely blows out of the water, which puts us on, level pegging Fusion Strike versus Surging Sparks. And this is where I think we're going to see Scarlet and Violet once again come into its own. Surging Sparks total set value 1,578 versus Fusion Strike at 931. It just goes to show how strong a set. Evolving Skies total set value, nearly $4,000. And we can see the hype currently around Surging Sparks and how strong it is and how good it is and how expensive the Pikachu is and the Latias is. The total set value is $1,500. It's only $300 more than 151. And Evolving Skies, $3,850. People saying Surging Sparks the next Evo Skies? It's not. Unless we see a massive surgence or an uplift in the prices, it's just not. Evolving Skies is absolutely in a league of its own. Hey, we have some beautiful sets to come. Prismatic Evolutions is going to be a Team Rocket set. Don't forget, we're only up to Brilliant Stars as a main set when it comes to where we're up to in Sword and Shield. We have Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, Crown Zenith, Pokemon Go. So, we arguably have another 6 sets to come out for Scarlet and Violet next year. And even if we go into January, which is likely with another holiday set to maybe finish off Scarlet and Violet, but Prismatic Evolutions, like I said, Rocket set, there's talks of a Gym Heroes set. It's probably going to be one, holiday set to end the era to go off with a bang. But so far, I mean, other than Sword and Shield being absolutely phenomenal with old arts and a really nice, well put together Pokemon card set with Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike, that Ghost Psychic set, and Evolving Skies being one hell of a standout, Scarlet and Violet's winning the race so far. The battle feels like, especially with how popular Prismatic Evolutions has been, and I just can't see them stuffing up with the Rocket set or a Gym set and maybe a couple more banger sets to go. I just can't see them stuffing up. I think as good as Sword and Shield was from Chilling Reign onwards, I think we're going to have to give the era to Scarlet and Violet. The temperament and the belief of collectors and investors alike, I think, is going towards Scarlet and Violet. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Michael, this is Pokeoz, and I'll catch everyone next time.